Welcome back! This go round, we're going to take a look at a much hated fighter for the Neo Geo, and that game is the King of Fighters 2001. Basically, it picks up and ends the NES saga, and it's taking basically the same elements from the previous title and the concept of the strikers and adding a new twist to it. And this game, what will happen is it will finish the NES saga and then eventually go on to, the Ash Crimson saga, which will finally be eliminated in the King of Fighters 13. But the reason why people love to hate it is that due to some graphical issues, due to some sound issues, but what people fail to realize at heart, the gameplay is what makes this game stand out. And what changes it from the previous title is to me that strikers felt kind of gimmicky, whereas here I feel they're more effective and a bit more useful, and it changes up the strategy and how you use them. So basically, you can have a one-man team and have 3 strikers, or you can have 2 people and 2 strikers, etc. The thing is that, and based upon how you set your team up, can make your team stronger or weaker, because the more characters that you have and the less strikers you have, the weaker your team is, and the weaker team is, and the lesser your characters and the more strikers, the stronger the whole team is. So it uses a lot of strategic elements to put a new twist on the gameplay. Nothing's really changed. As far as the setup, it's, you got your buttons of your light punch, your hard punch, your light kick, hard kick. None of that shit's changed. So that will remain the same. There's also new characters in the game. The thing is you got Foxy, Angel, K9999, and Mei Lee, who actually replaces Jun on the Korean team, and that's this broad right here, right there. Alright, so let me go for my usual. Let's see. Fuck it, I'll go with her. Alright, and you'll see the setup is different. See, it has this 4. So you could have all 4 characters on your team. But let's say I choose my king, and let's just choose these 2 at the bottom. Now, because I'm only having 2 characters to actually work with, it will make my team a bit stronger because the focus is on those 2 characters. So to me, it's actually a really good gameplay change-up. And that's the thing people fail to forget is that, that's one of the key elements of the King of Fighters is its gameplay. It's one of those, it's easy to get into but hard to master type of thing. See, as you see how, mine's a bit stronger. Now, if I had more of characters, she'd be weak as shit. Alright, so let's address a couple elephants in the room here. Alright, the thing is, as far as graphics are concerned, well, the majority of the graphics are recycled from, the previous King of Fighters. But the thing is that they have a bit more of a darker look, and maybe a grainier look, and that applies to the backgrounds too. The animation is excellent, as it should be if they're using the same characters, and the backgrounds are pretty decent. For the majority of them are pretty good. Even though they have a dark look and lack some colors from, previous King of Fighters games, whereas the backgrounds were always super colorful. So I don't know if they were just trying to create a different type of look or feel, or maybe because since Eolith and Breza actually worked on this title, and it might have been maybe a bit of a programming issue, who knows, because Eolith is a South Korean company that SNK has very close ties with, and Brezasoft is actually kind of like an in-house developer who was made up of former SNK employees. So you'd imagine, let's say, the characters, and I'll show you the 4. The thing is the characters would look exactly the colorfulness, but maybe there was some internal you know, issues. Maybe they wanted to change the game up. I don't know. I can't prove it. But the thing is that it does have that issue, which is different for the King of Fighters games. Next off, as far as graphics, is the portraits of the characters. When you go to the select screen, some of the portraits look downright weird. They just the animation or the hand drawn is just weird looking. I don't know why. Maybe they were going for like a comical sense to the portraits, but they don't add anything to really the decent artwork that King of Fighters is known for. So I don't know what they were actually going for. They eventually changed that in King of Fighters 2002, but it was just weird. Maybe it was something new they were trying to go with. I don't know, because I can't prove that. Alright, so enough about the graphics. Let's go into the sound. The voices and all, basically are the same as throughout the whole entire KOF series. The problem comes with the 1970s, 80s porn type music that's emanating from this fucking cartridge. And that's where this game actually really takes a hit. I mean, the thing is that, don't get me wrong and all, I'm not saying that every King of Fighter game had iPod-worthy music, but for the most part, it was always excellent. And here, the music is just, a lot of it's like a half-ass techno, like a half-ass, just, like, it reminds me of, like that keyboard type sound. It's like that electronic keyboard. It's just weird. And it's a shame because it's like they butcher some of the themes of particular teams, which is unfortunate, which I actually have to agree with a lot of people that the music is just definitely not up to par. But as far as that, the gameplay, as far as the control, the combinations, and everything else in between is excellent. And I applaud Eolith for trying to do something different. Now, true, not all of it was executed well, but I gotta give it to him for at least trying to do something with the gameplay. You know, maybe trying to go with a different art style. I mean, the thing is that, it's kind of hard to fault somebody because the thing is that they're trying to breathe new life into a series, and SNK couldn't get too involved because of their bankruptcy issues. And the thing is that I can't fault Eolith and Brezisov for at least trying to keep the series alive while SNK tries to get their shit together. No, all in all, don't let people dissuade you from this game. Believe it or not, there's actually a lot more positive reviews than you think on this game. It's just that it was something different and a lot of players couldn't get used to. But the gameplay is really, when it comes down to, is for KOF. And that's something you should pay attention to. Not so much, well, the graphics are a little this and it's a little that. Because really, in all honesty, the graphics were outdated, you know, when this came out. So it's not like, oh wow, look at these graphics, they took a downturn. They were outdated. But what makes these games great is they're fun to play. And as you can see, like between Andy and Mai, they have the their particular affinity towards each other. So it adds a lot to the 2D fighters, especially that were basically phasing out around this time. Because arcades were dying in the United States. And it was just something to just give back and at least keep the series going. And I think they did a good job. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not the best in the King of Fighters series, but it's definitely not a terrible game as everybody wants to point it out to be. So, do I recommend checking it out? Absolutely. You can actually check this game out as it came to the PS2 as part of a compilation between, I think, 2001, 2002, maybe? You can also check it out. There's got to be some virtual console or whatever for this game. It's so many ways to play this game. But don't let people dissuade you from actually playing it. So basically, I'd recommend trying the game out. It might feel a little dated, it might feel a little bit harder to get into, but that's just the way the King of Fighters games roll. They're just a bit more on the complex side than the Street Fighter fare. So definitely check it out, and I don't think you'd be disappointed. If you look past a lot of the outdated graphics and sound, I think you'll really enjoy it. That's it for now. I'm going to leave maybe a little bit more gameplay, and I'm out. Alright then, I'm out. Take care.